And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, Tom Vasel here, and today we're taking a look at Chocobo's Crystal Hunt, the card game. Now, it's becoming more and more of a thing these days for video game companies to make board and card game versions of their games, and Square Enix is no exception to that. They made two games. One is the collectible card game of Final Fantasy, but this one here is Chocobo's Crystal Hunt. This was an original game based on the Chocobo, the most beloved creature in the Final Fantasy series, whether you ride them, race them, fight with them. Everyone likes Chocobos. In fact, there's a few video games, if I understand correctly, even based about these Chocobos. So I was like, ooh, that's interesting. In Final Fantasy itself, and specifically I think Final Fantasy VIII, and maybe some of the other games, there was even little mini card games that were not terrible little games. So I was like, ooh, what would they put into a card game? Let's find out. The goal of this game is to get 4 crystals, one of each color, or to get 6 total. Now players will use some tokens at the beginning of the game, so you're going to start with one of these in your hand. You're also going to start with one fat Chocobo, and then one other random card from the deck. In this case, it is a Chocobo. So on your turn, the first thing you'll do is you will draw a card from the deck. Ooh, I got a yellow crystal. Did I win yet? I have not won yet. But then, you have one action you may do. You may play a Chocobo. You can play your fat Chocobo, or you can play another Chocobo if you have one. If you play the fat Chocobo, when you're done doing it, it's gone. When you play this Chocobo, when you're done doing it, you can go again if you're successful. Basically what you do is you do a hunt. You play the Chocobo, you say, Bob, I'm hunting you. So Bob will say, fine. He gives you his hand of cards, and you say, I want this one. Aha, and you steal that from him. If you would draw a Chocobo from his hand, then boom, your hunt has failed, and your turn is over. And if you play a regular Chocobo, and you fail hunt, that Chocobo's discarded. The fat Chocobo always comes back to your hand, so you can keep using that one over and over again. If you draw a monster card that's in their hand, then that card goes off. If you draw a bomb, basically you have to pick one of your crystals and put it on the bottom of the deck. And if you draw this, you have to show your hand to the person who you draw it from. And then once you've done that, the monster card is discarded. Again, the hunt fails. Players will continue doing this until one person gets the winning conditions, which is 4 different gems or 6 total. And then that person is going to get a token here. Yeah, the game isn't over yet. You have to actually get 2 of these tokens to win the game. Huzzah! Wow. This is bad. I mean, this is really an awful, terrible game. The card quality is good. The artwork is fine. But this is the game. It's basically a worse version of Go Fish. You essentially draw a card, then try to steal a card from someone and hope it's a card you want. That is the entirety of the game. There is nothing else. It's like, nope, you got Chocobo, haha, you got a monster card, or, oh man, you got a crystal. And then when I see that Susan stole something from Bob, then I know that Susan has a good card, so I'm definitely going to steal from Susan the next time I can steal from. And the game goes on and on until someone mercifully wins, except the game isn't over yet. You just get a token and we got to play again. This is awful. My kids hated it. I hated it. I mean, I want to be clear here, folks, on this one. I don't hate this game. I loathe it. Because Final Fantasy games are some of my favorite games of all time. I've played Final Fantasy through to completion many times. Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy X. I'm currently playing through Final Fantasy IX. I played through Final Fantasy VIII. I played through the ones on a Game Boy like 20 times. I love those games. I love them. And this defiles their memory. And it's made by the same company. I mean, come on. This isn't some, like you put some effort into it. This is seriously a game where you are essentially draw a card, steal a card. Draw a card, steal a card. That is the whole game. Garbage, we're done talking about this. It's just stupid. Don't get it. Really, really, really don't get it. Dice Tower Judgment, awful.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!